Alright, so George has been busy this weekend. He went to the junkyard and found a full 5 lug for the EP3, pulled it and got it here. This is off the base RSX, by the way. The owner has bought new pads, new rotors, which should be getting shipped here sometime this week. But also, what is kind of like a new revelation, if you would call it that. Remember we were talking about the throttle body, we thought we had a throttle body, and worst case was going to use the one off the EP3, which is, in fact, it will fit, but it's a smaller throttle body. So here it is, Type R Throttle Body. This is actually funny because just before George and I left on Friday, we were kind of talking about this, saying, okay, we need this, we need that, we're going to do this. I reach in the toolbox and pull this out. It's a Type R Throttle Body. It needs the idler control valve, which is on the EP3, and of course the TPS, which is on the EP3 throttle body. So this is it. This is the one we need. We have a matching throttle body, and that is going to work well with that intake manifold. So this is in good shape. But like always, this is his birthday. His birthday is the day after Christmas. Imagine that, growing up as a kid. Hey, Merry Christmas. Ah, you don't need a birthday gift because it's Christmas. So this is going to be like his birthday gift from LHT. Anything that we can find to improve this build, he's going to get it. Yummy! Thank you again, Esther. She is totally hooking us up. You see how well we're taking care of her around here?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Try.
Thank you so much. Alright, so we got the 5 lug right here, and this ball joint is really wishy-washy. It's broken sealed, it's bad. While we have it apart, we're going to put new ball joints in. The other one looks good, but you know, if this one's bad, the other one's probably not too far off being bad. So we'll replace both of these, and the bearings feel good in here. We have new rotors and pads, which once he shows up with them, we'll put those on. But I'll go ahead and get that ball joint switched on both of these. See actually how bad this ball joint is. So when you drive a car and your steering feels all loose, and it kind of feels like the dirt on me already. Feels like the wheels are like separated from the steering mechanism. Every little bit adds up. A little bit of looseness here, a little bit in the rack, a little bit in everywhere else. It makes the car feel like it's falling apart. So these were really bad. You want to get one coffee for yourself? That's nice.
Whatever.
Actually, how tall are you? That video just went live the other night. This is probably going to be a few days later. How tall are you? How tall is she compared to George? Stand next to her, George.
She's gotta be 7'2".
She is big too. Well, she's married to a ball player. She's got to be tall. What do you got in there?
This is my cold foam.
Oh, you never answered. How tall are you? The official
Do I
weight.
really have to tell him?
Yeah, people are asking.
5'8".
That's big. Look at George. George is barely 4. George is knocking on the door of 4'9". Why are you cutting the straw? Is something wrong?
Broken at the top, so it wasn't working.
Oh, you get an air leak in there.
Modify your straw.
Every time you suck, it makes a whistle.
It's a short throat straw now.
It's a short throw.
Don't cut her shirt. You see that? You could have cut the arm off her shirt.
Oh my gosh, cut a hole in my shirt.
Got shorts in the shirt. Alright, so just a quick shot of this is what it looks like right now. This is loose. Somebody go ahead and point that out. I wonder why it's loose. So this is the K20 engine, obviously the A3, the one that came in it. We're going to start taking it apart now. We have our engine over here prepped. The 5 lug is already done. We're going to start taking this apart. Alright, so that's the wheels that came off the Civic. They are going away. And this owner, Jeff, he bought some new wheels.
Alright, so we got some classic Bolt TE37s in 5x114, so we can do a little upgrade to the 5 lug.
This is probably the most timeless wheel. If you know anything about imports, anything about cars, this is probably the most timeless wheel. These are mint too, Jeff.
Brand new.
We got some beefy tires. This is awesome. So this is obviously why he wanted the 5 lug. He had visions of these wheels. He's already bought new rotors and pads. So what's your plans with this car, Jeff?
Daily drive.
Daily drive, fun daily drive, 200 wheel. Hopefully it's going to be running on the stock airbox, the stock exhaust, and the Jackson manifold. Of course, we've got a better intake, better throttle body. So we should be, fingers crossed, we're going to do 200. If not, we'll start hacking things up to make 200.
We'll add the exhaust twin loop.
I was gonna say, you probably already got ideas of what you're going to do. If you've watched our channel in the past, you know, you've probably seen Jeff kind of pop in and pop out. I don't put him too much on the spot. So tell us a few cars you got right now, Jeff. He has a few cars.
We have a 718 Cayman S, 2017, and we have, I start to forget because I have so many.
It is a problem.
We have a Honda Element for a daily driver.
That's the wheel lugger.
Yeah, wheel lugger. And then we have a S2000 and 2001 AP1, which is pretty close to stock, fun car to have. And then we have a few other things we keep it in secret for that.
Yeah, won't give too much away. This is pretty easy to do, the 5-lug. We're going to change the hubs. We have the hubs over there, front and back. It's already got the Skunk Pro ST suspension, so it's got some good parts on this. Of course, the K Pro, so we should be able to tune it just the way it is. I'm thinking we're going to put a fuel pump in this. We have the TSX injectors. I'm still working on the engine, by the way. I started pulling it apart. We got the battery out, the shift cables, the airbox, and a few miscellaneous. I really was doing it off the lift. Now it's on the lift. We can start dropping the subframe. Obviously, low control arms will all stay together in that subframe. The motor will come down together, so we'll film that as we go. But we're keeping this valve cover because this is obviously a genuine red valve cover, and this is like Volk wheels. It's classic. Yeah, so if this is as impressive as the other side, it went with a bang.
I think I'd turn that way.
Yeah. Keep skipping.
Let's see what that does. It's kind of how the other side started.
Yeah.
Come off.
Did it break? Alright, so it's actually humid tonight, and we've got our big fan running. Again, this is why I like that fan. Listen to it. Well, that's the dude next door, but it's quiet. So the knuckles are off here. See that? So we're going to be taking a few more things off. The subframe has to come down. Let me show you the knuckles. This is why it's so easy to do 5-lug on these cars. This is the piece you change in. Of course, you need the RSX base, hub, and caliper, and of course the rotor. We've got new rotors for the RSX stuff, which is over here. So this is what it looks like right here. Already put the ball joint in these things. These are the calipers. This is for the back. The back, this is the same. It takes the same caliper off the EP3, and of course just the rotor off the base. So the back is super easy too, and it bolts back the same way. These 3 points right here, I'll show you those as we do them. But a few more things to take off. We'll lower it down. We'll support the subframe. Take it off, and the subframe will stay right here. So if calculations are correct, the subframe should stay on the floor. Bolts will fall down on the floor. Alright, so the subframe is down. The engine is hanging by 2 mounts, basically the one on the transmission and then one on the timing side of the engine. So it's literally just swinging there. We'll get the subframe out of the way. We'll get a cradle to hold that, lower it down, sit on the cradle, take the mounts out, jack the car up, and the engine should be sitting there. Out. This is obviously just a complete setup right now. We have to take the parts off this to transfer over to the K24 Engine mounts are going to get replaced with a Hasport, so that mount isn't going to get reused. We need to set the transmission off, the wiring harness off, the whole accessory system right here. We're going to put this on the K24 so everything works and lines up. We're going to try and put all this bracketry, including the crank pulley, so that in the event anything needs to be serviced, you buy just a TSX belt, make life a little bit easier. New mount is on the TSX. Water hoses all should fit back just the way we want it. We'll put the starter on it. That way all this wiring system is exact changeover. We need the TPS and the idle valve right here, which is going to go on our throttle body on the new motor, so that's why the throttle body isn't attached fully. But we'll start cranking on this. We'll show you when we get this apart and start transferring everything over. So this is the EP3 throttle body. You can see kind of how tiny it is there. But we need this idle valve off here, pretty easy, just held on with the screws. TPS a little bit more challenging. They're actually like a break-off style bolt, so it looks like a rivet, but it's actually threaded in there. The key to get these out is to cut a slot in here and then put a screwdriver in there. Those things will come right out. I'll do it and show you what it looks like. These parts here, map sensor, we'll be transferring that to the throttle body too. And the cable should work with the TSX. I'll let you know. Alright, so it's back together. This is what we do. If I can get it to focus here, cut a slot in the screw right here so you can transfer the TPS over. Purge valve is on, map sensor is on, the bracket is on. The cable should work. Of course, the idle valve is back on. Parts are coming off the other engine. It's kind of messy right now. Usually the calm before the storm, or the mess before, I don't know. So these parts over here, George is actually cleaning them right now. We actually got an earlier start on this thing, so we're going to try and keep rolling on this and get it wrapped up. But he's going to clean all that, make it look pretty, so when it goes on the other motor, it kind of matches what we have going on here. It is kind of pretty already. Alright, so accessories are on. Clean those up a little bit. They look a little fancier now, right? The billet mount is on here. This is the one designed for the K24 and use conventional mounts. Of course, we're doing the Hasport mounts, but that should be a direct bolt-on and put the motor in the correct position. George is working on the starter, the wiring. The harness will be going on soon. We still got to put the transmission on, which is still over there. But the transmission will just drop on. Everything else should stay the same. We drained the fluid out the transmission, so it's going to get a transmission fluid change, and of course the engine's drained, so it's going to get fresh oil. So it'd be pretty much ready to go. Yeah, so to the untrained eye, it looks like the exact same motor, just cleaner.
Yeah.
So that came out nice down there. Everything's all cleaned up. Went ahead and polished all that aluminum, make it look pretty. Billet mount is on, transmission is on, engine harness is on. The intermediate shaft was typical, you know, doesn't have any paint on it, so we sanded that and painted it black so it looks fancy. We're going to change the mounts in the engine bay. This is the header, by the way. It's the Jackson Racing header. This doesn't actually look like a bad header, so if there is any limitations in here, I'm probably thinking it's going to be the exhaust more than anything. But
I did talk about that on the channel. Didn't I put that on? Did I
you
say
did
anything about it?
I think you did.
That Jerry came and brought this to us?
Jerry.
I think his video will be going up soon. I saw you editing it.
Yes, his will be up real soon. He had the silver EP3. I think I kind of teased it in the thumbnail picture of George in the EP3, and I put the title as something like EP3.
My name's John. That's Jerry. That's
No, your
John.
name is George. That dude was Jerry. I'm John.
That's Jerry, you're John.
He's
Okay.
Jerry. I'm John. You're George.
And that's my friend Jerry that gave me this.
That's the header. Talking of Jay,
That's Jeff.
there's Jeff.
Another J over there.
Jeff got roped into it. Actually, he wanted to be a part of it. He's probably lying to his wife, saying, "I got to work late, honey," which he's not lying because he is working. And he's working late. It's called a white lie. So he's putting that one back together. He is going to What are your plans on that motor, Jeff? Are you gonna do anything with it?
Anyone needs a K20 motor, let us know.
126,000 miles. It's going to need obviously this assembly here, but whatever you put it in will have that. And it did dyno at 143 to the wheels. I'll put the link in there, but it's a good motor. If you know anybody who wants it, Jeff will make you a super hook up on that, unless he comes up with an idea. He might end up coming up with some plans for it. You never know with Jeff. Meanwhile, he's on the lookout for an EP3 with a blown up motor. I'm probably true, aren't I? So if anybody was wondering, the Jackson header doesn't fit the K24, so a little bit of modification and then it will fit.
What are you talking about, it doesn't fit?
Well, a little bit of welding it does.
Yeah.
Another thing is we're using our second Miller Dynasty welder. If you haven't watched the channel, you saw that our welder broke and we got another one. I think it was earlier in this year. This is the other one, and guess what? It quit working today.
Again.
That's awesome. Yeah. Welder number 2 already broke. It's not even a year old. This one is 8 years old. We're using that. So the good news is the 5 lug on the driver's side is done. This one's put together. It's got the caliper on, the rotor, the new pads. Everything is hooked back up. Engine is in for the most part. Subframe is in. Mounts are in. Got to put the axle and hub and brake assembly on this side still, then go over to the back. Jeff is over there working on the back. He's got some of those loose. He's working on those back hubs. So we're hopefully going to have this thing running tonight. But anyway, stay tuned. This is going to be the end of part 2. Stay tuned. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe, click the like, and click the bell, and we'll see you on episode 3. Hopefully we'll have the engine running. Alright, it's now 12:25. It's actually December 13th, everybody.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's 12 days till Christmas, and hopefully the car starts this time. I'm not going to tell you what went wrong, but that makes a big difference. So, tiny boo-boo on the fuel pump. One of the O-rings that, it don't really matter. We fixed it.